Hey all, welcome to Semi-Informed Football Podcast. Today, the three of us, Marko, Matteo, and Mark, will be talking about transfers in the European football market. We had such an in-depth conversation, we're actually going to split it into 2 episodes. Here's episode 1. Lots of really fun this summer. I don't remember a summer in the last few years that has had just this many big names and so many euros, pounds, dollars kind of floated around. So this one should be fun. So you want to jump right into it?
Of course.
Cool. Okay, so let's actually start off with, I have a bunch of right here. We're going to kind of do a little bit of a rapid fire session. So I'm going to talk about blockbuster deals that shook the market. And I guess, Mark, you can kind of guess what the first one's going to be. Is Flo Wirtz to Liverpool. I guess a £100 million plus move. I'll throw that one to you first. What do you think about that? I know you love it, but go ahead.
I think it's a phenomenal deal just because the rest of their signings also complement Wirtz. It's a changing of the guard essentially. They're getting in a bunch of players between the ages of 22 and 24. So it's really a changing of the guard. He's meant to be the catalyst in the mid, that offensive supplier. He'll play behind the 9, so should be exciting.
Interesting. Matteo, what do you think about that one?
As a non-Liverpool fan, I can tell you from an unbiased perspective, yeah, it's a great signing. He's a phenomenal player. For 160 million, it's a lot of money. And I just think, obviously, it's not a bad signing, but their priority should be getting a new number 1 target man striker. That was my idea for their go-to move. So I was surprised to see their big splash with the Verts coming out so early.
Yeah, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about that number 9 very, very shortly. Honestly, for me, and I don't, don't jump all over me, but Florian Wirtz, phenomenal player. We have always seen like his magic in the midfield, but almost, maybe you're going to back me up here, Matteo, but it's almost a player that I didn't think they needed at this point.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So I guess like the signing of Florian Wirtz, again, is something you can't really sleep on, but it's really kind of changing the makeup of the team and some of the players that they have. And, coming from a Premier League winning season, I thought that was quite interesting.
I agree 100%.
I know.
Cool. Okay, next one I'm going to take a look at. Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. Now, is this a little bit of a gamble, or is this really like an attacking upgrade for them?
You know what? I think it was a change that was desperately needed. Man U have been in sinking ship for the past, 5 years?
Right.
And it was clear a new rehaul was beyond overdue. So one of their issues was goal scoring. Cunha has been proven for the past 2 years in the Prem with a lower side in Wolves. But I think out of all the options available, players who would want to go to Man U and players who were actually on the market, he was the best they could afford, and the price wasn't that bad. So it's a good signing, I feel.
Good signing. So, Mark, do you think it's a sinking ship? Like, again, you just mentioned the same thing. So, first of all, Matteo, you said the same thing, is that, with the players that are willing to go to Manchester United, which I find really, really tricky compared to, like, say, 10 years ago, where everybody could, really wanted to go to Manchester United. Mark, is it a sinking ship? Was this a right move, or is this just them kind of throwing money at things?
Well, okay, listen. When you're Man U and you're this desperate, it's something I call the Man U tax. Okay, and that'll come up more when we talk about Brian and Buemo. But Man U will always have to overpay. I don't think the club and Amorim did a service to themselves when they told Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Malacia, and find another club, right?
Yeah.
That means that other teams know you want them gone. So why should they pony up and pay the transfer fee you demand? On the flip side, they also know you're desperate. So when they're selling Man U a player, they're gonna put that extra tax on there, the Man U tax. In terms of the player, I think Cunha is a good player. I think he'll help desperately. Again, jumping ahead, and Buemo I think is fantastic. My question is, who's going to get these guys the ball?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know they're not done. But again, that's the quick one. So, Mark, since I have you right here, I'm going to take the next one. Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal. Is this like the midfield anchor they really, really need, or is there something missing there?
I think Zubimendi is a great player. Obviously, Liverpool was after him last year, didn't work out, which actually worked to our benefit because we won the Prem without him. I think it does help Arsenal. I think it's a position that they really needed. Really, Declan Rice for all those beautiful goals against Madrid. I think Declan Rice was a bit stepped down from the previous season. Odegaard tends to get injured a lot. I think Zubimendi will work well with his fellow Spaniard Marino. Yeah, so I think in terms of a midfield player, Zubimendi is quality.
Right, Matteo, Zubimendi.
I think, yeah, it's a player who they don't really need. It's not their number one issue, like I said, with Liverpool and Verts. Like, they have Declan Rice, who is world class.
Right.
Maybe to replace Thomas Partey, to issue him on the way out. Guys like Jorginho have also left. Maybe to get that much more reinforcement in the midfield. But he is a class player, Zubimendi. I've seen him play in Spain. And my only guess is that he'll help with the style of play Mikel Arteta wants. Great on the ball, good in the build-up, good defensively, reading passing lanes, thinking a step ahead. So, at least from my view, it wouldn't have been number one signing, but I think it is a player that will be utilized.
But he's going to move into the sixth position, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of kind of getting things to click, I guess we saw him in the Cup Winners' Cup, and not the Cup Winners' Cup. We saw him in the Club World Cup, and he was very, very flashy in his celebration. But Matteo, João Pedro to Chelsea.
Oh, this is a great signing. I'm glad you asked me about this because João Pedro is a player I have mixed feelings about. I think attitude-wise on the field, sometimes he gets carried away.
Yeah.
However, there is no doubting his ability. A young player can score goals and is, for me, a top 3 striker in the Premier League, in my eyes. Okay. Chelsea were a team that were missing a striker, with Nicholas Jackson being their main man for the past season. Hence why they couldn't capitalize on so many chances. And that was the main piece they were missing, just like so many other teams. With João Pedro there, with the service from Cole Palmer, from all the other players, he's going to shine. And I think it was shown really, really well, the system Chelsea have in place now in the Club World Cup. And I think this addition really makes them a team to watch. Not quite a Premier League contender, but hey, who knows? I wouldn't be too surprised, but I wouldn't put it there.
Interesting. Mark, Chelsea stronger now for this or what?
100%. He's a quality player. I agree exactly with what Matteo said, though. The issues and the concerns are his behavior, his attitude, his ego. I think that's why Liverpool didn't pursue him. Okay, because they use that software that analyzes everything about a person. That's why they didn't go after him. But skill-wise, we saw what he could do. This is a player who's going to prove what we always talk about. He was good at Brighton, but now that you're with better players, better service, I expect him to score a lot of goals, and I expect Chelsea to be top 4.
Yeah. So that software that I guess tells you how good of a player is, that Tinder, or like, did they swipe right on João Pedro? Hey, anyways, I'm gonna go into last. So this is the last of the blockbuster deals. I guess you can kind of consider this blockbuster deal, but this is one that I find very, very interesting. Anthony Elanga to Newcastle. Again, we did see him at Man United. I don't know, like a flash of brilliance. Mark, what do you think about that one?
Again, here's another player who's grown, another player who is gone from Man U. This is an interesting one because I'm looking at the money here from Newcastle. Newcastle's on the verge of that whole financial fair play.
Yeah.
Okay. And it gets really sketchy that they can get him. They need to be selling players too in order to keep him. One rumor was that they were going to sell Gordon. And then there was all that talk about Isak, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool talked about offering about 120 to 130 million pounds, and Newcastle turned that down. Now, here's where it gets sketchy. club. There's a club in Saudi Arabia. I think it's Al Nasser Al Hilal. They want to offer a ton more for Isak, but they're also part owners of Newcastle. So it is a conflict of interest, because if they offer 210 million pounds because they can, that automatically sort of fudges the books, rigs the system, because then all of a sudden Newcastle's flush with legitimate wealth. It came from a transfer fee, and it will take them way clear of the financial fair play fine line that they're in right now.
Yeah.
So I am kind of surprised they got Alanga first with these other issues in mind. So I'm almost expecting Isak to go to Saudi.
Yeah. We'll see. That's a whole lot of money. Like again, we're going to talk about the Liverpool striker issue before, but trying to squeeze like between 120 to 150 for Isak. That's a bit crazy. Okay, to wrap up the blockbuster deals, Matteo, what do you think about the Alanga at Newcastle?
I think Mark covered most of it. But I'm trying to think on the field here and try to avoid the financials and all that. The price they paid wasn't that bad, 55 million. And Newcastle are a team that relies on creative wingers. They have over the past few years. We've seen it through Howe's evolution with the squad, even dating back to like Miguel Almiron days. Now they have Harvey Barnes, they have Jacob Mersey, Anthony Gordon, with Anthony Alanga, who I think is better than all of them. This is a serious addition to the attack for a fair price, I do believe. He's going to shine. He's going to be on fire. And just thinking purely football, it is a really good signing.
Yeah.
I do want to see how Forest turn out, though, because they are losing a few good players in this window.
I agree with you there. Okay, so let's actually take a look at actually smart business and underrated signings. I know, Mark, you like this one first, but I'm going to talk about Milos Kerkez to Liverpool. I guess this is Robertson's successor, right?
Yeah, so Kerkez had a fantastic year. He's really young, just really shone at Bournemouth. But he's got a lot of promise, a lot of quality, excellent price. Again, it's that 6-year plan that Liverpool has, right? A lot of people don't understand it. Oh my gosh, Liverpool's splashing cash, 300 million approaching now that they signed Hugo Ekitike. But it's like, don't forget Liverpool only spent 10 million pounds last year. And they also won the Prem. And all these signings, there's a plan. See, Man U doesn't have a plan. Let's just sign some guys. Liverpool's plan is, let's sign all these guys that are on 22 to 24. We'll keep them for about 6 years. So you pony up the 300 mil now, but then over the next 6 years, it's just a small addition here and there for your needs.
Yes, it's upfront cost.
Yeah.
Matteo, Milos Kerkez.
Yeah, I think it's pretty spot on with your point of building a team that will go forward for 5-6 years. It's going to cost money. It will. I don't think his transfer fee was too extortionate. It's a player who's young, who really impressed last year.
Yeah,
It wasn't too high. Really impressed me individually last year. Young player as well. And I think a left back was someone they needed pretty badly. Robertson is getting older, and a new player was needed.
And Tsimikas is not a starter.
Absolutely. So I think this fills all the boxes for a good signing at Liverpool.
Yeah. I just want to put one last point with this. Like, I feel like the left and the right backs are a little bit underrated, right? So they don't really go for a crazy amount, even though you watch any game and how important they are, right? So maybe
they're crucial.
A turn in the trade, because again, we talked about, totally not this podcast, but for PSG, we looked at Nuno Mendes, we looked at Hakimi, right? Like, again, just amazing players. But again, maybe this is a return to the backs. So I'm gonna take a look. I really like this signing, because again, I don't think this is a name that I really knew too well. But Man City picked up Ryan Aït-Nouri. Great fullback, a lot of depth, a lot of flair. Mark, I'm gonna throw that one to you right now. Man City had a really rough year this year. Is this adding? Is this going to be a benefit for them?
It could be. He's a young player. He's played well. Um, I think Man City has a strong enough team to be top 4. I don't expect them to be in the top 2. But I think it gives a bunch of these young defenders a chance to sort of grow and gel again over a number of years. There's a plan in place. You had that Uzbek, what was his name? Kuzanov?
Yeah,
Kuzanov, Guardiol, Ayat Nouri now. So yeah, you got a bunch of young defenders that can grow and really compete within the next 3-4 years.
Interesting. Man City, what do you think of the team, Matteo?
the
And
team.
this edition. No, I
Well,
would.
yeah, I think there was no out and out left back. That was the issue for so many years. They had Ben Mendy as their last real one, and he played years
Well, they were
ago.
playing all center backs. It seemed at one point.
Exactly, yeah, it's all makeshift players. Like Vardiol was their makeshift left back, the inverted fullback, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I know he actually fills the hole where they do need someone who's good defensively, decent on the ball, and can just play the role. It's nothing too complicated. They paid a decent fee for him. But he'll be someone that slots in.
Wasn't Nathan Ake playing on the left?
Nathan Ake, Gvardiol, a number of players were, but no one was permanent. This will be the main guy, clearly number one. And it gives players like Gvardiol and Ake to actually play where they're meant to
So
play.
where is Ake meant to
At center
play?
back.
Center back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I'm not expecting you guys to know this one too well. Again, being a fan of the Bundesliga, but another one, Bayer Leverkusen picked up Malik Tillman. Tillman is a USMNT star, and I think that this is a star on the rise. And Eric Ten Hag got to, I guess, bolster his team. Even though we did see them getting Matteo, you sent me a note. What was it? They lost 5-1 to Flamenco's
U20 team.
U20 team.
They were down 5-0 in the first half. So that's a very promising start for these boys. But again, it's preseason. Don't go too crazy.
Yeah. That's true. So staying in the Bundesliga, I actually really like this. He had a chance of going to Eintracht Frankfurt, but he ended up choosing Dortmund. Joe Bellingham, that's the brother of Jude Bellingham, following in his footsteps. Do you like this one, Mark?
Yeah, I think the family was really happy, very familiar with Dortmund.
Yeah.
They had the support when Jude was there. I think they really saw that Dortmund develops players well. They really develop young players. And so that's what I think. It was a great fit for the family. It was a great fit for Job. And of course, it's a great fit for Dortmund.
Amazing. Okay. I'm actually going to say, let's try to keep this next one because I know we could probably go really long with this one. But I'm going to talk about teams that got stronger. Since we're all their trades and everything like that. I just want to have like a one sentence, maybe a one word, anything that really pops to your mind.
Sorry,
so again,
are we going to talk about the signing of Hugo Ekitike?
Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool. Yeah, a great deal. I do have some background on that one. Hugo Ekitike coming from Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt have kind of been playing Dortmund's game for the last few years, right? Making really smart sales. So yeah, I know whether it's starting with Luka Jovic, Rebic, Kostic, even if you want. Just this past January, I think it was Omar Marmoush who was he was ripping the Bundesliga apart, and we're like, oh my god, you dropped this, and then Ekitike coming in and sort of really filling in that role, like a lot of smart deals. So you like that one, Mark, I guess, to Liverpool?
Well, a lot of people think it's an excessive price because it's interesting the way the media writes it up. When they talk about the signing of Hugo, they're like, oh, it's 95 million euros, right? Oh, 95 million euros. And then people are commenting, oh, this guy hasn't even had any caps for the national team. How do you pay that much for a guy who hasn't? But then let's convert that to pounds and be honest. It's 69 million pounds. Okay. Or, 25 million less than we paid for Darwin. It's 9 million more than what Chelsea paid for Joao Pedro. So I think it's within range. Now, did we need a number 9? Yes. As much as many Liverpool fans still believe and want to see Nunez do well, you can't let the window go by without getting that number 9. Because if he has the same season as he has over the last 2 seasons, we'll be in the same boat. Well,
Yeah.
better off,
A very mean word.
better off
Very-
getting a number 9 and someone new to the team, gelling with a bunch of these new players as well. And of course, the service, whether it's Nunez, but in this case, Ekitike, he's got service around him. So I think it fits him well, and he should blossom. Another 6-year contract. I believe he's 22, so it fits the plan.
No, you're right with the whole like young player going forward 6-year plan, 100%. I think the only real issue with him going for this amount of money is that not many of us really watched him play in Germany. So when they see someone, a foreigner, who there's not many eyes on, and it's not a big name like Isak, and questions get raised, why is he going for so much? Why is the hype? This and that. I think a lack of understanding. I can't comment on him personally, like many others, saying, "Oh, he's a really good. I can vouch for him," but it's mystery and it's the unknown. I think that's why there's so much
Yeah.
talk.
No, and I think I think it's fair. Like Premier League players are not as familiar with them. But again, like you have to say, Eintracht Frankfurt has been churning out amazing players that have been going places and just really ripping it up. I honestly, I do believe in this transfer. I've heard of Ekitike going to other teams in the past maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, but I think he has more upside potential than something like Victor Gyökeres. Like for me,
Yes, I agree.
so again, you're like if you're listening to Mark's 6-year plan, Mike, this is definitely in. Like I really don't think that this is really gambling. I think he's a great player, and you know what? Look at the stars. And honestly, even if you said if Nunez is still sticking around, at least 2 players to really kind of challenge each other for the
I hope he does.
So,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so let's get back to that one section. So I'm going to talk about teams that got stronger. I really don't want too long on this. Maybe a sentence, maybe a word, whatever you want to say. So Mark, I'm going to start off with you. Liverpool, Frimpong, Wirtz, Kirkes. Now title defense. Is that incoming? Mark, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm the fan, but from a non-biased point of view, I think this team got so much stronger. And as young as they are, they're also really fast. The speed of Wirtz, the speed of Frimpong, Kirkes as well. Like this is a really good team. Andy Robinson was laboring. Trent had his defensive woes. Coupled in the fact that Bradley's got another year under his belt, right? So there's so many options that they could do. I think they definitely improved in terms of depth. I know you two both disagreed that Liverpool needed Wirtz at this time. I disagree. I do think he's that star caliber player. Is he better than Szoboszlai? Absolutely. Right? So whichever way Arne Slot decides to go, it's an upgrade in depth, 100%. Whether he goes with McAllister and Wirtz and Gravenberch, or changes it up and goes Szoboszlai, Wirtz, and McAllister, right? He's got a whole bunch of tools now and options. So Liverpool for me would be a team that definitely improved.
Matteo, I'm going to get you to answer this one. What about Man City? Rangers, Cherki, and Ait Nouri. Ryan Cherki is a very interesting player coming from France. But what do you think is going to happen? Is it a tactical refresh for Pep? I don't know. KDB out. Like, how do you like this team?
I think so. I think it's a new look to the squad because KDB had a particular profile about him, especially over the years he dropped back. But with new players like Cherki, especially going forward, him in particular, he will break out this year. I believe that wholeheartedly. Cherki will be a starter. Reiner's reinforcement as a backup midfielder, that's okay, with Rodri back, and an actual left back which allows you to rejig your entire backline as you see fit. Yeah, we'll see a new look to Man City this year than we have in the previous years, and especially last season. However, the overall winner for the window, if you're going to pick a winner, would have to be Liverpool.
Now,
Okay, I'm going to go into another team. Mark, I'm going to let you take
well,
take
I was just going to
this.
comment on the last thing. One signing we never talked about yet for Man City was James Trafford in net, as Ederson has now gone to Galatasaray, and I think that's gonna be a big thing. I think that's my big question mark there.
Thanks for listening. Stay tuned to episode 2 dropping shortly.